Hello, I'm Luke Darcy. Welcome to Access All Areas, brought to you by OPSM. Coming up on the show very shortly, Dr. Peter Larkins will join us to talk through the injuries. But with me now, as always, on a Monday to talk about the big issues from a huge weekend of football is Damien Barrett. Welcome to you, Damo.
G'day, Darcy. Who made the biggest statement, Hawthorn?
Well, for me, I think the Hawks, absolutely. It was the top 8 sides all met. There was going to be some big winners and some big losers, but Hawthorn have blown this year apart for me, Damo. I had Collingwood, and we'll get to them shortly.
Blown the year apart on the back of this one game?
I think so. When you think about Franklin out, you think about their captain Hodge, played well in the VFL. Brent Guerrero, I rate really highly. I reckon the big thing for me is that the Hawthorn players, their coaches, the whole club walk away after this game on Saturday and say, we can absolutely win the premiership. And there's always doubt. Every club thinks they can. You're hoping you can. You need a big win like this against the side that is the favourite. I reckon the best credentialed team is Collingwood. So to blow them apart with the players they had out, and you're seeing Bruce get involved here, it was a great result. Lewis kicking 5, Bruce kicking 5. Gunston's a big factor. They come away with a huge amount of confidence from that game.
They got a great percentage, the Hawks, haven't they? They fixed that up when they beat GWS recently. They've still got 2 non-Victorian teams above them on the ladder, though. Will they get beyond them to get a crucial home final?
Well, that's what's going to play out. They're capable of going up to Sydney. They're capable of beating Sydney and Adelaide in an interstate final. That's how good a side they are. Clearly, if they finish first or second, it's going to be a massive advantage for them. But they're the most dangerous side. And to me, in my mind, might be 1 week, but it's changed the whole context of the way the year is.
And of all those teams that made statements on the weekend, so where do you rank the Kangaroos' performance? Their big win over Richmond yesterday, where's that put them?
Oh, we need to talk about them because they have got themselves back inside the 8, and I am rapt for this whole club. And it's efforts like that. There's Lindsay Thomas's smother, a couple of minutes to go. Richmond are pushing. Good sides just start to win these games, Damo, and that's what we did. Drew Petrie, we're going to talk about in a minute. But Lee Adams, he was 50-50 to play with that shoulder issue last week, involved with Chris Judd. That's just courageous. That means that the side are doing what the coach wants them to do. And you know what I love? I love the reaction of Brad Scott. Have a look at the genuine joy. He knows how much that means. It's what footy's all about. North Melbourne going really, really nicely.
Drew Petrie, you touched on him. 5 goals in the last quarter, 7 for the game, 14 in consecutive weeks, now coming third on the Coleman. Tell us where he's placed amongst the key forwards in the comp.
Tell where he's placed. He's the best value for money out of any of them, because I'm assuming, and you don't know, that for what he gets paid compared to what he delivers, and All-Australian last year, as a ruckman/forward, 7 goals back-to-back, coming into the game under some doubt with an adductor. I love Drew Petrie. I reckon he's just an absolute gun. He's right up there for me with... I love the fact that they can also use him pinch hitting in the ruck as well. It's a good option for them. Yep. Hey, the Adelaide Crows, Damo, need to discuss them as well. A lot's been made of their draw. They just keep winning and beating good sides, but it's a brilliant run home. Geelong's a tough one down at Skilled Stadium. They had a brilliant win over them early in the year, but after that, they look almost certain to finish first or second, don't they?
Those last 5 games, you say right now they're going to win those, aren't they? Certainly their last 4. They've already got a top 2 spot as it sits. They win 4 of those games. It's almost locked in, and it could be 5. It could be 6, though, couldn't it, Dust? Do you give them a chance this week?
Absolutely. They're a massive chance. They're going superbly. And don't underestimate the last week either. Home game, Gold Coast, get the preparation leading into potentially 2 home finals. It might be a story where Brenton Sanderson just has one of those dream runs and gets them all the way through to a grand final. And
no Walker and no Tippett on the weekend, or no Tippett after he got concussed. Doing it well, aren't they?
They keep finding goal kickers. Ricky Henderson the week before kicked 6, and now Bernie Vince, 100th game as a midfielder. To get 4 goals out of him is just a sensational result. And it's a side that knows... Everyone in the team knows their role, and that was the great Geelong model. I think Brenton Sanderson's brought that across. Everyone's playing their part. With some upside, they still get players back. Brilliant result all round.
We'll keep on the positive statement makers on the weekend just for another moment. Geelong, I heard you call on Friday night. You were really impressed with how they tackled ferociously in that first 10 minutes. Yeah,
they've been speaking about it all throughout the week because their starts leading into this demo had been pretty poor, and they said we have to get the start of the game right. They came out and attacked the first 5 or 10 minutes like they have done, and probably better than they have done in the past. I think the tackle count was something like 19-3 at one stage in the first quarter, and you can just see all these bits of play. This was...
Are we getting too carried away? They hadn't shown this for some time, the Cats, and they only beat Essendon. I say only beat Essendon. Essendon's going through a real rough patch at the moment.
I still don't think they can win the premiership this year. I don't think they can actually get through and play in a grand final. But it was just a great sight to see so many proud players who've had a great influence in a long period of time, just good enough to say, we're tough enough, we can get the job done, and it was a brilliant start and a good reminder.
Essendon does. Key players still out. Hurley, Zarakis.
We've spoken about the positives. They're all the sides that had a big impact, and we need to focus on a couple of big Melbourne clubs that haven't really had a great weekend. And Essendon we've got to start with. That's become an unmitigated disaster, soft tissue injuries for the Essendon Football Club. It'll be the thing that'll cost them their year this year. They probably, in all readiness, weren't ready to compete with the big boys this year, but that'll put an end to their hopes this season. And Collingwood are the other story.
Yeah.
You have to talk now about their big forwards, Damo. Chris Dawes has had really now an extended period of the game where he hasn't been able to have an impact.
It's 12 months now, Dust, isn't it? He was going really well this time last year, then got injured, and then just didn't come back and has not at all surfaced in any positive way this year.
This time last year, Cloke and Dawes were the best two forwards in the game by a massive margin to the rest. Cloke broke his finger, struggled grand final day, and sometimes that happens. You struggle in a big game and you view yourself in a different light. He's lost all confidence. Cloke is a massive concern for them now. I mean, everyone's sick of talking about him, but that extended contract negotiations clearly got inside his head. He's had 9 disposals the last 2 weeks. He's taken 3 marks in 2 weeks. He's getting beaten by defenders that he'd normally monster and kick bags of 5 or 6.
Do you need to rest him, Dust? Do you need to drop him? Do you need to change what he's doing?
You've got to change what he's doing. You've got to start finding a way for him to play well. He's too good a player not to play.
What about Dawes?
Look, Dawes is getting to the concern stage, and I've been a massive supporter of him. I think, I love him because of the way he trains, the way he goes about it. But at some point, if you keep training that way and playing that way, they need to do something about it. They're flirting with Tarrant, but we saw last year with Mick Malthouse and the amount of conversation. Collingwood get more discussion than any other team, but any organisation, you need everyone going the right direction. It becomes a distraction. This has become a huge distraction. Don't worry about any talk about players just play and coaches just coach. There's so much discussion. He needs to sort it out for his own good and the club's good.
What you're saying needs to be done almost this week?
Well, it does. I mean, look, he can negotiate his own terms and do whatever he likes, but what's happening at the moment is his value's going down. If he was kicking 5 goals and Collingwood are flying, it's not a concern. He's struggling. The coach has said it's a distraction. The coach has said it's ruining his brand. And we're about to go to our poll question on the Twitter, Damo, and the whole footy world's turning. And we could read through 20 of these. Yeah. All of them are negative towards Travis Cloke. AFL_AAA, the question we asked earlier today is Travis Cloke asking for too much money, and is he overrated? We could not find a supporter for Travis Cloke out there, and we started with P. Kalida. Says he's still one of the best forwards in the game at his best, Damo, but he's kidding himself if he thinks he's worth 800,000 plus. Bendy said his dream team price is around 300,000. Even that's too much. So Bendy, a nice little backhander there. Mark says Travis Cloke is the most overrated player in the comp. Good, but not a champion, and certainly doesn't deserve the cash that he wants. Now, I reckon that's a little bit over the top.
If you were Collingwood, though, would you start lopping significant thousands of dollars off what's already on the table right now?
I think the bargaining position has swayed all the way back towards the footy club, and I reckon they could be firing off some memos going, that price that we agreed to, well, that's actually going down by 50,000 next week.
You do
the week
that
after.
You do it today?
I reckon it's about at that stage because they've got other options. They can manage their list slightly differently, and they need to start thinking about it. It's gone on too long.
What about this idiot's dust at Etihad Stadium on Saturday night? Another incident of crowd invasion at this venue. Just highlighted here in the white circle there. Dalehouse having the controversial shot at goal. This guy's got way too close.
Well, it's becoming actually dangerous, Damo. We sort of laughed at it initially, but this guy got within 1.5 metres of Luke Dalehouse. They are absolute idiots, these guys, and make no mistake about it. At some point, if he got hold of Luke Dalehouse and injured him, we saw it in the cricket years ago where we had players getting tackled to the ground. I don't know how they control it, but they are just a disgrace, and we need to do something about it quickly.
Speaking of controlling emotions, Das, Alistair Clarkson couldn't control his at quarter time, despite his team being up. This footage, I love watching it. Bang.
It makes me laugh, and I know some people, in fact our producer was very hot on this. He said, this is any other workplace, we would be up in arms and he would be hauled over the coals. Look,
this is late in the game.
It's
He's just
an
having a look at
emotional
his handiwork he does and
had a
likes
little bit
what
of
he
a point.
says.
He says, look, he'll pay for it. The MCC should send him an invoice and say, you can't be doing that, you fix it up, and that's about all we need to. It's a high-pressure environment. Most of the coaches over the weekend were blowing up, punching the desk.
This guy once punched himself, Das. This is a true story. To make a point to his teammates, punched himself in the head and hurt himself.
He's an angry man, Alistair Clarkson, Damo. They might be thinking about punching themselves down at the Melbourne Football Club, Damo. It's been a horrible year. We don't want to make light of it, but these are a couple of bloopers we have to show. Jakey Spencer it ends up in a goal. You know your year's going terribly. They're playing up in Darwin. They can't wait for the final game to come round. How about Colin Garland here? You've just got to bend over. You've got to pick this one up. He's tired. He drills it straight down Stewart's throat. That ends up in a goal as well. The year cannot finish quick enough for the Demons. No, it
can't. And the Bulldogs are probably in that same bracket right now. Andrew Swallow, Das, another amazing performance yesterday for North Melbourne. What is he doing here, though? First quarter.
Becoming one of the most respected players in the AFL, Andrew Swallow. I want to say that beforehand. But it's a good one to actually watch because rotations are so important. Players really want to get off the ground. Now, his opponent's Reece Conker. He's trying to rotate himself. He's so focused on that. He leaves Reece Conker out the back and the Tigers get an opportunity to go inside 50 and score. See it again. He's in his mind going, right, Conker's running around trying to follow Swallow, so you switch off for a second. Conker says, I'm going to play the game.
It's hard to see that, Das, to think that a guy of that calibre and captain of that club could make a decision like that. I just don't get that.
I don't think it's that damning, Damo. We need to just cut him a bit of slack.
Why?
Well, he lost the concentration for a second. He tried to rotate himself. Well, I think when you're getting tagged and you're the one that's actually having someone follow you around, sometimes you focus so much on yourself. Well,
he's a
gun.
Maybe focus on the ball, Das.
They've gone pretty well, Damo. He had a bit of a blue. I love a melee, Damo. You and I can have one in a minute if you keep carrying on like that. But this is brilliant. I love it. I know the AFL are going to find them. Maybe brilliant's the wrong word. I'll take that back. But everyone loves a good scrap. I've got 3 boys, Damo. That's all they do all day. There's no punches thrown. It's a little bit of testosterone explosion. It's a bit of fun. What are you going to give me the school teacher approach here, Damo?
Well, unfortunately, we've become accustomed and attuned to what's going to happen here, Das. And there's going to be a lot of money made into the AFL consolidated revenue on that.
Do we need to fine them so much? Can we just say, guys, if you throw a punch, we'll suspend you.
You've got to
want to let off a bit of steam.
Because if you let it go, it then becomes a little punch and jumper punches.
Crowds love it. We love it.
I don't disagree with you, but you've got to find them.
Time for our OPSM poll question, Damo. Head to our Facebook page to register your vote. Should any ground invader be banned from attending a game for life? We'll have the result of the poll on Friday's Accessible Area with Damo and Lethal. Yes, they should. Time to stop the idiots. It's going to become a very dangerous situation. We need to take a break. Next up, we catch up with Dr. Peter Larkins to get an update on the injury news from this weekend. And now, thanks to OPSM, it's time for Did You See That?
Round 17, when we saw the snap from Stevie J.
And Johnson! It's a good baby powder.
And Puopolo gets some air.
Puopolo! Little man, big man!
There were some clips you may not have seen. Headers. Nose pickers.
Having a bit of a look at things there with a bit of a pick-up.
And missed kickers.
Is this within his repertoire? No, it's not.
The top clips you missed from a week of ball-flinging foul. This is Did You See That? Clip 1. With Collingwood on the run, Hawks fans were head over heels.
Just can't pay that home. Sorry, on. Play on. Must control it all the way down. Good effort, though.
Clip 2. Adelaide may be flying high on the ladder, but did you see the Eagles' Will Schofield take this leap?
John Coleman Schofield goes up and takes the mark.
Clip 3. Port Adelaide were just too strong in round 17, finding cracks all over Melbourne's defence.
Thousands of plumbers applauding Vale as we speak. He's got to feel a breeze there.
Clip 4. It was a slow-moving first quarter in the Richmond-North clash. Did you see Revolt put this one on the board?
It was so casual, I was going to give him a blast. But you can't give him a blast when he kicks one like that.
Clip 5. Eddie Betts was unstoppable against the Bulldogs. Did you see this?
How about that? How about that?
And this.
Got it bending! Unbelievable
Clip 6. Adelaide kept a commanding lead over the Eagles all game. Did you see them take some time out to play hot potato?
They fight amongst themselves. Dangerfield could settle it. And Dangerfield does settle it.
To vote for your favourite Did You See That moment and to have the chance to win a pair of Oakley sunglasses valued at $159.95, go to afl.com.au/Did You See That. Voting opens midday Monday.